And our first story, the board chair of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, Freddie Blay, has disassociated himself from ongoing discussions in government circles to convert the Tema oil refinery into a storage facility. It will be recalled that the Energy Minister Boakye Jako a couple of weeks ago indicated at an offshore technology conference in the USA that government has plans to convert the only state refinery into a tank farm. The revelation has received a lot of public condemnation in the past few weeks on major news outlets countrywide. But speaking to me on the Super Morning Show on Joy FM today, Mr. Blay said he is not involved in the ongoing deliberations by government to convert TOR. What do you have to say about the brouhaha about the conversion of TOR into a tank farm to make way for a new refinery?
Well, it's not a brouhaha. It's honestly, I don't know much. I've not been that involved, but it's as a policy level that the idea is coming up, and therefore, as I'm telling you, I think I'll leave it there at the policy level when it comes up. Maybe, as you've mentioned, GNPC, we may be called upon to take part or not, but it's a policy.
As a GNPC board, you have not looked at this possibility?
It's a policy level, but at the moment we haven't GNPC, qua GNPC, you've not taken a look at it. So
you've not taken a look at the possibility of having a refinery?
Well, it's a government decision, and I'm telling you that at that level, the policy decision at the ministry level. And therefore, when they suggest it to us, we will look at the possibility if that we have enough funds, or funds are approved of by Parliament to us, or if we think some other group come up with it, and we could form a JV and do something about it. We could look at it. But at this point in time, the policy has not been relayed to us in clear terms and which part we should play. I don't want to talk much about it.
As a board chair of an organization that is so key in the energy sector, what do you say to those? Dr. Steve Mantiao, for instance, he told my colleague Kwesi Parker Wilson, he said, why would anyone want to collapse TOR? He adding that a tank farm TOR does not make sense. It defies logic. What do you have to say?
Well, as I said, I have not looked at it in detail. But that is opinion. Maybe he has not himself taken a critical look at the proposal. The proposal has not been adored as to what to do. But what I'm aware of is that TOR, which has a capacity of 45,000 barrels a day, comes out roughly at this point in time with about 20,000. And that's not quite enough. It has a big storage for now, and it combines the refining of oil with storage of some petroleum products with its storage as well. And that's been going on for some time. But if some new ideas come out as what to do, how to go about it, whether to make it a big storage and so forth, I think it's a policy level. If it comes up and we are called upon to play a certain role, I think we will discuss it, and I may be in a position to tell you more about that.
Now, away from that, an Accra High Court has given Joy News the green light to broadcast a documentary detailing theft of cocoa beans. This follows a court's dismissal of an application for injunction filed by Licensed Cocoa Buyers Association of Ghana. The documentary, which was due for broadcast in February this year, has been on hold as the cocoa buyers have described the documentary as containing unfair and unverified allegations of crime made against the companies. They are asking that the court awards them a cost of 1 million Ghana cedis and restrains the multimedia group from ever airing the documentary. Justice Anthony Yeboah, in his ruling, said blocking the airing of the documentary will amount to preemptive censorship of unknown material. He further held that the association can be adequately compensated if it wins the substantive defamation case. Lawyer for the multimedia group expressed delight over the decision, urging Joy News to immediately broadcast the documentary.
Has held that we were right in the arguments we made in the opposition to what we sought to say was a very frivolous application for injunction, and that they were seeking literally to stifle, the media's rights guaranteed in Article 1 of the Constitution. To be able to give information to the public, and a public that is also deserving of knowing, of what is going on. So, in fact, we actually, it pointed to the court that the Cocoa Board itself has had concern.
Now, the court is meanwhile expected to deliver its ruling on an application by the multimedia group asking that it dismisses the defamation case on June 28, 2018. Now, moving on, the Ghana National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union, GNPTDU, says it will hold an emergency meeting this Sunday over the new directive from the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, concerning their operations. The new directive expects stakeholders to abide by an Energy Commission manual which regulates transportation and delivery of petroleum products. The directive follows an ultimatum letter from the tanker drivers to the Energy Ministry to address some operational challenges. Kwame Yanka has more.
The tanker drivers have been fighting for a major decision like this in the last 10 years and are happy with government's commitment. The emergency meeting at Ashaiman on Sunday is expected to school members of the union in the use of the Energy Commission's manual. Vice Chairman of the Ghana National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union, Sunday Alabi, disclosed this in an interview with Joy News.
Loading, they use it. Offloading, they don't want to use it. So when they use that manual now, the drivers will be relieved. The surcharging that they've been surcharging them would reduce, because they never know that I've been given 5 liters to go to station A. I'll not get there after measuring on my bulk, it's 5 liters. They'll use underground, which nobody knows what is in there, to tell the driver, oh, you shot 1 liter or you shot 2 liters. But for that on the bulk, it's physical. You see, the driver sees, the dealer will see, the driver sees. So when it's not up to the level on his bulk, he knows that something goes on there. And in the manual, temperature plays a very important role in it. So when temperature varies in it, they have to use the temperature calculation to check whether it's an actual loss or it's an apparent loss.
Now, sanitation police in Kumasi have arrested 4 people for open defecation and littering. The suspects will soon be put before court for prescribed sanctions. At least 60 people have been arrested and prosecuted by the sanitation police since the beginning of the year. Deputy Environmental Health Officer at KMA, Edmund Komba, warns more people risk being arrested for flouting the Assembly's bylaws on sanitation.
The suspects have been identified as Michael Amankwa and Francis Kakari, both 22, Gilbert Akolonya and Kofiata, aged 27 and 24 respectively. They were arrested in the early hours of Thursday during a routine patrol of the sanitation team. Mr. Komba said the Assembly will amend its bylaws to hand out more punitive and deterrent punishment for persons who flout its bylaws on sanitation.
So formally, that is why KMA's bylaw, we are refining the bylaw. When we refine it, we are also going to charge such units or more. Our bylaw now, we are refining because the former bylaw was made in 1995. So when you send somebody to court and you charge on the bylaw, it's not effective. It's now 50 pesos. So now we are using the Public Health Act or the Criminal Offences Act. These are the 2 acts we are using to fine sanitation offenders. We also urge the public to also help KMA in the sense that when you see anybody defecating elsewhere or throwing refuse at an unauthorized place, you as the citizen, by Section 297 of the Criminal Offences Act 1960 at 29, empowers all citizens to arrest anybody who is found littering or defecating elsewhere because it is contravening the law.
The sanitation police want public support to ensure litter-free environment. Gideon Bio is head of the sanitation police.
As far as KMA is concerned, and anybody sees such an act, if you call this number, I think you're going to make an enforcement of that, because we have an enforcement team, a rapid response unit, who is going to make it possible that we're going to reach there in time. Yeah.
Reporting for Joy News, Nana Asensu Mensah.
Still watching Joy News today. Still to come, Multimedia Group Limited journalists Seth Kwame Boateng and Joseph Opoku Gakpo have been shortlisted for the special award category of the MTN Heroes of Change Award, scheduled to come off tonight. Details after the break. Staying with us now, Multimedia Group Limited journalists Seth Kwame Boateng and Joseph Opoku Gakpo have been shortlisted for the special award category of the MTN Heroes of Change Awards, scheduled to come off tonight. Now, Seth Kwame Boateng was shortlisted for the impact of his documentary Next to Die, which highlighted the poor conditions expectant mothers have to endure as a Konfanoche teaching hospital, leading to the death of many. Joseph Opoku Gakpo was shortlisted for the impact of his documentary, Jungle Poor, after he revealed the high level of deprivation and poverty in a community in the Volta region. Here's Seth Kwame Boateng on tonight's awards.
About the Next to Die documentary, the documentary we did on the maternity and mother and baby unit at Konfanoche Teaching Hospital, where we got a number of Ghanaians providing help, assistance for us to build what we built for them under the leadership of the First Lady, Mrs. Rebecca Kufado. So we've got that facility for them, and my understanding is that mortality rate has drastically reduced. So that's the story that got me nominated by the MTN Heroes of Change Special Awards category. I've learned quite a lot from that Ghanaians are ever ready, willing to support a worthy cause. Ghanaians have sympathy, and that hard work pays. Also, that we are powerful as journalists. We can trigger change, positive change, of course. So it has given me the energy, the strength to go the extra mile always, and to look at issues or talk about issues that we can get people to support. It's the reason I've just produced another documentary, Women in Battle, talking about why women die.
Expectations ahead of tonight's,
Oh, that we shall all smile after the event.
Seth Kwame Boateng. Now, Joseph Opoku Gakpo joins me in the studio. Joe, congratulations on this.
Thank you.
So tell us about the story. First of all, which town did you visit?
Nitabuta, a community in the Akachi North District of the Volta region. In the documentary Jungle Poor, we told the story of how this community lacked the most basic of amenities, no electricity, the absence of potable water, virtually a poverty-ridden community. We got some feedback, if I could put it so, with a non-governmental organization from the United States of America coming in to install solar panels and to let the community have solar lanterns as well. They got a clean source of water. There was the completion of a school block in the area that had stalled for a very long time. And then another organization moved in to provide basic vocational training for members of the community. And this is the result.
That's amazing. Have you visited the community since then?
On an occasion when some of the NGOs that had moved in to help support the community had gone in, yes, we went back there, and obviously we were excited. And for journalists, that's what gives you joy, the fact that you get the story told and you got the positive responses come through. And till date, we're all excited about that.
I've always associated your name with work in the agri sector. Not really seeing stuff like this. Is this something that you hide, or something that you have an interest in?
I tell stories about the environment, agriculture, and rural development generally, and these are almost interlinked because a lot of the agricultural stuff happen in the rural areas, so you can't visit there without telling the very fundamental story of deprivation in some of these communities. And sometimes the other exciting thing for even the community people is when they see you on television and they give you a call and they tell you they saw themselves on TV. You know, that's another bit of the joy. Yeah. So there are various levels of it. When they see themselves and they give you a call, when the positive feedback comes in, and then we see these kinds of responses. And for a journalist, usually that's the expectation, that the stories we tell shouldn't sit on the television and then that's it. Otherwise, then so much hasn't been done. It's gone beyond that, and it's helping bring some level of development.
Amazing. Congratulations, Joseph. On to the next one.
Thank you.
Let's move on. And many are those who have the perception that traders do not make enough money to cater for themselves and their families. Some traders at the Central Business District are, however, debunking this, saying they sometimes make as much as people who sit in offices. Unlike salaried workers or those who are in offices, the traders say their profit is mainly dependent on the needs of their clients. Max Bagba was in the Central Business District to interact with some of them on how much they make.
We're currently here in the Central Business District, specifically at Katamanto. Well, it's early morning, but the hustle and bustle has already started here, with a lot of people selling their wares, with their people also going around busy, using this place as a one-stop shop, just like it has always been, you know, since time immemorial. Let us get inside and see if we'll find some people we can talk to right here on this. Let me. What's up, bro?
Oh, bro, big man.
What's the name?
Christian.
Christian?
Yeah.
Christian, tell me, what is business like on a normal day? Are you making enough money here?
Oh, we are trying our best. Then we are making half of money, what we will sell and what we will get.
Okay.
Yeah. So, right now I'm holding this one. We will sell 20 Ghana.
20 cedis.
Yeah,
okay.
20 cedis. We will get profit 5 cedis.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how are you able to live on the 5 Ghana cedis profit? Because, right now, just this Kenke seller who is here right now, right. If you want to buy Kenke, probably Kenke will go for like 2 cedis. The fish would go for like 2 cedis. You are left with 1 cedi. The 1 cedi, you drink sachet water with it. So how are you able to live on that 5 Ghana cedis?
Oh. But I'm still on my knees. I will sell it, and I will apart from that, the Kenke I will buy. I will sell something to her. Then,
so I want to know, are you able to make enough money to cater for yourself, and then maybe if you have family at home, are you able to make enough money to cater for them?
Oh no.
You don't make enough?
No, not every day.
Not every day?
Yeah, not every day.
On days that you make a lot of money, how much are you able to make?
Oh, if I get 10 cedis, I'll make
10
cedis. 5 cedis.
10 cedis, 5 cedis.
Yeah.
And 2 cedis, and that's when you make enough money.
Yeah.
Let's get close up. There's another gentleman who sells bacon stock here. Let's find out from him whether he's making enough for himself.
We make enough money, but it's relative, because looking at what people sell and the money they make, well, I don't know. Well, everybody and the way he thinks he gets in a day. Are you getting me? But really, well, there are also people who do not make enough money, as you are saying. But there are people here who are making it. I bet you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you satisfied with what you're making?
Yeah, as I told you earlier, satisfactorily, because I think being in the government sector, I think the minimum wage, if you can, it can give me the minimum wage. I get enough, I get more than the minimum wage per day. So I think because going to the government sector or public sector, the money I'll make will not be enough for me. I'm a graduate and I'm selling here. So
yeah, I'm able to make money to build my family. And then anything I like to make my thing go front for me. So I want everything to make hard. And then the government helps us to make a good things to sell it.
Okay. How much are you able to make? How much are you able to make in a day? How much profit are you able to make in a day?
A profit there is from the God. If you can't sell anything, but from the God do everything for us. So when you come a day, you can get more than 3 million, or you can get a profit more than 1.5, 2 million. But when you can sell 1 or 2. The market is not good going front because there's.
Hearing the profits margins makes one think of how much to bargain for when buying a phone, doesn't it? Now, though the only mall in Kumasi, managers of the Kumasi City Mall say none of the malls in Accra can beat their modern specifications. There was a lot of excitement when it was opened to the public a year ago. Since its opening, residents of Kumasi and neighboring towns say it has been of immense benefits to them. Here's a report on this by Bernice Abubedu.
Welcome to Kumasi, the second most populated city in Ghana, rich in culture and tradition, and a lot of lovely people around. Now, if you visited Kumasi a couple of years ago and you asked for sites to visit, you'll be directed to the Kumasi Museum or the Menchia Palace or the Kumasi Zoo. There's an addition to that list, and that's, guess what? The Kumasi City Mall. Let's head there.
Located in Asokwa, a suburb of Kumasi, the mall covers a land size of about 15 acres, has 66 shops, an underground parking space and natural ventilation. But this mall isn't mere brick and mortar. It represents something more, a beautiful space for trade, networking and pleasure. The people of Kumasi love it here, so they come in hundreds every day to the biggest and arguably most modern mall in Ghana. There was a rich display of culture at the official opening of the mall. The presence of the Asantehene Otumfuo Osei II was enough evidence of the importance of the city's newfound love. President Akufo-Addo was there to lend his support.
During the official opening of the shopping center, President Akufo-Addo challenged management to ensure that Ghanaian products were sold. A year on, what has changed? Has management lived up to that expectation? At the time, 5% of goods sold in Ghanaian malls were from local entrepreneurs.
John Bedu Bonsu is manager of the mall.
The very local, as in done in Kumasi, I think it's about 40%. But if you talk about local shop owners, that's about 95% or 96% are Kumasi people. This is now like a monument in Kumasi. Nobody comes to Kumasi without coming here.
Every inch of this floor is tolerated, but business has been good since His Royal Majesty opened it to the public. So how has this famous mall impacted the lives of patrons?
I felt it was difficult on weekends at times where to take your kid to, but when the mall came, I always come on weekends with my kid.
So America credit me yare ana me free to be able to be a for be that me ba see a me need to me nana no become on the man for mo amba ye bene na ma na etietie enwum ne ade a me kwa bitimi da.
It has become a very big platform for us to socialize, meet nice people.
I have little cousins at home. They used to disturb very much, but now because of the mall, especially the Case Gallo, I bring them here just for them to be entertained.
This mall is really huge, but sometimes, especially on weekends, it feels as if the whole of Kumasi is in it, and there's nearly no space at all for anyone. Well, managers are planning to expand this mall, so those in Accra who told residents of Kumasi because you were robbed of your bragging rights, brace yourselves.
This is actually the phase 1. When we are done with the phase 2, it's going to be the biggest mall in Africa actually. Our dream is to do the phase 2. If possible, build another mall and another mall and another mall. And then we get to the level where, I'm not saying we get rid of our local markets, but then we merge, like there's a synergy between the local markets and the mall.
If you followed the opening of the Kumasi City Mall and events after, you'd remember the escalator craze. Quite a number of videos and photos popped up on social media showing people struggling to use the escalator. And there was even one showing a goat in a mall. Well, not all of those photos and videos were from the Kumasi City Mall, but here's how managers dealt with the escalator issue.
We've never had an escalator in Kumasi. That's on record. So obviously there will be challenges. It's just natural. Basically what we did was we had to place security men there to direct them where to go. So now when you want to go down, they direct you where to go. So we actually encourage them. When I see you going down the stairs, oh, why not take the escalator? Like, I can't take it. Oh, let me help you. And I help the person on. And then they really like it. They go like 4 times, you know, just to have more of an experience.
A year on, using the escalator is not a big deal for many patrons. During my stay here, I saw a little girl easily using the escalator and teaching her friend how to. Unarguably, the Kumasi City Mall has had a lot of impact. You've heard from patrons themselves. Well, if you haven't visited here yet, or you happen to be in the city but have not yet visited the famous escalator I'm on now, you may just want to do that. Guess where I found the culture of Jamasi? Good to see you, Chris.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Are you looking great?
Thank you. So are you.
You are in the case here.
Yeah. Chrissy.
Okay.
Yes, we need escalator. You see, Kumasi.
And you know, credit that.
Show them how we do it here.
All right. So you go in there and fly away, baby, do fly away.
You don't want to miss a visit to the mall next time you're in Kumasi. Maybe you would also meet the cantor of Jamasi, Kwesi Debra. Now, it's what we recalled that Joy News last Friday in its broadcast of the sex scandal story at Bato Senior High School mistakenly used images from Avetime Bato Secondary School instead. Joy News acknowledges the error and by this medium apologizes to school authorities and the entire students' body for the gaffe. Joy News regrets any inconvenience caused in that broadcast. The actual school in question is the Bato Senior High School, headed by Lawrence Kole Kwesi, who is being accused by a Form 1 student of sexual harassment. Joy News apologizes for mistakenly using the images of Avetime Bato Senior High School. It's now time for business with Emmanuel Abajirafi. Stay with us.